Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. At the Bench is right below in memory of our friends. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, but just enjoy watching this on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes even I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do this during a live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please hit the thumbs up, and consider subscribing, sharing the videos, comments on the videos. All these activities help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Now, please also consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. Now, that's like going to Starbucks and buying one of their lattes or something like that, just once a month, and that will help us out. And if you don't want to do the monthly subscription, you can do the super chat, which is below the chat box over here, and you can donate any amount you like. The only thing is you have to do it during a live stream. Come in during our live shows and hit the super chat button, which is right below the chat box, and donate then. And then if it's not convenient for you to stay and watch the whole show, come back and watch the replay at a more convenient time. Now, speaking of the memberships, now I'm also a member myself, okay? So I'm not asking people to do something I'm not doing myself. Just $4.99, you won't even miss it. I don't miss it, and I suspect you won't either. Plus, you're helping your community, your hobby. And, with your memberships, you'll get access to member-only videos. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. This is not mine. I come in and host a show on Mondays and Friday nights. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is a different channel. It's called Flying Control Line Stunt. Let me repeat that. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which is a video Sparky shot with his video camera, me flying in my very first official flight at the Nationals. I was flying his beautiful Junior XL. And it was not only beautiful, it was very, very light for a 700 square inch wing, and that plane flew better than I flew. And it was a great opportunity for me. So it was one of my bucket list days. So I really appreciate that. If you check it out, let me know what you think. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. Without any further ado, I'm going to post the link Hey, Steven. Hey, man, thanks for coming in. I'll be right there just a minute. And you have my complete attention. Just give me a moment here. And let's see here. Let me post the link right now. Fantastic. And I'm going to go to what I call the control panel. Just bear with me. And I'm on my way there. And looks like we have some people there already. That's great. And let's see here. I'm almost there, guys. So hold tight. So this is how I monitor the show. I go to the what I call the control panel, and I can see how many people are in the audience, how many likes, and how many new subscribers. And I also keep an eye on the chats. It's important to me that the chats are part of the show. So last time we was together, we had like an audience of 37 people. So if you would please, use the chat box, ask questions or make comments. It helps. It adds to the show. I appreciate you guys' participation. And I'm just about ready here. I got to do another thing or two real quickly. But I see a new person in here. That's great. In the chat box and also inside here. Another little couple clicks here, and then you'll have my complete attention here. Let's see here. I had a pretty good weekend, though. I'm looking forward to talking to people about this past weekend at the Knights of the Round Circles fly in. All right, I got that all set up. Great. Let me first welcome you, Steven. Thanks for coming in, Steve. I appreciate it.
No problem. Good to see you.
Yes, man, fantastic. Thanks for coming in. Let me welcome Ed. Hey, Ed, how you doing this evening, Ed?
Doing good. I'm not sure if you're breaking up a little bit or is it me breaking up a little bit with signal? And you hear me okay?
I hear you okay.
Okay, must have been me. Doing fine. Just a lot of lousy weather and down to 37 degrees tonight.
Oh boy.
Yeah. The next 3 days, cold and lousy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that will soon pass. This soon so pass.
When you have a beautiful Easter here, then you're in for a little bit more. If you have a lousy Easter weather, then it normally gets better after that. So hopefully we're on the side. Now this weekend's supposed to be nice.
Oh, so, good.
Already making plans.
Oh, very, 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 very good.
Yeah.
And let me welcome Mark Gerber.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, how are you doing, Mark?
Good.
Cheers.
And Gary Sinclair is making his way in here. Well, we have a new guy coming in here, or came in, and that's Steven Minicelli. And I met him at about the last 3 or so contests I've been to. And he's up and coming. I think he still flies in beginner, but don't let that fool you. He can fly pretty good. I keep telling him he's going to come up my backside and pass me up. So he's really into it, and it's exciting to see new people. He's really more of a retread, kind of like how I am as a retread. Is that right? You flew as a kid, and then some time got away, and then you got back into it, right? Right, Steve?
Yeah. When I was a kid, though, I just flew in circles. I didn't really know much other than just how to do a wing over and fly in circles, and that was about it.
And try not to get dizzy.
That's right. That was the main goal on Saturday and Sunday morning. If we went flying, was to be able to fly the fastest airplane and not get sick from it or fall over from it.
What planes did you fly as a kid, Steve?
Flight Streak, Combat Kittens, Junior Ringmaster, a Banshee, a Shoestring, and a Twister that my father built, but I never really got on the handle of that one other than just with him.
Wow. But, I mean, I envy you guys who had a father that introduced you or flew control line stunt or flew. That makes me so jealous. I wish I would have had that experience. Don't get me wrong, I had a good father, but he just wasn't into flying control line. He was into fishing.
Well, we were into fishing. We did a lot of fishing too. We did a lot of fishing, a lot of trap shooting, and a lot of rabbit hunting. And control line was kind of something that he actually got back into after he'd been out of it for some years when I was about 6 years old. And that's kind of where that's when I got my PT-19 when I was about 6. And that's what I learned how to fly with first was the PT-19.
Same here. That was my very first plane with a PT-19.
Yeah.
Terrible plane. Terrible
put the-
flying plane.
Put the motor in the novice mode, and it was it was hard not to actually be able to fly it around in circles. And then once you got used to that, you could put it in the expert mode, and it was a little bit faster and actually a little bit easier to fly like that. And I had a break or two on mine with a little bit of epoxy on it, but I flew it for quite some time, a long time, and then I started flying the Banshee with a Fox 35 on it, and that airplane wasn't really capable. I think my dad put the wing in the fuselage incorrectly, and because of that, it actually would never do a loop. It would do a great big giant wing over, but you could never get a loop out of the airplane.
Right.
But it was
I've seen you fly, Steve, and so what maneuvers are you that you can't do? I've seen you fly, and
right now I'm practicing 4-leaf clover.
All right.
Outside square loop. And I tried a couple of horizontal squares, but I got kind of sidetracked on the second one and lost my rhythm, and it didn't come out square by any means. You know, maybe the first loop was square, but the second part of it was was very poor. And the second one was I almost lost the airplane in the second part of it. And the hourglass, I haven't tried an hourglass because I'm not really sure how to. I haven't really been told how to perform the top of the glass.
I can tell you that.
Yeah.
The top of the hourglass is a section of a wing over.
Okay.
So just think of it as a section of a wing over when you get up there. That's where it wants to be, right at the top of the zenith of the circle.
So basically when you come up to when you bring the airplane like this and you come up to the top,
right?
And you get up to the top up here, you want to go like this.
Yeah, make it a section of a wing over, straight.
And then like this.
Well, just put one as it needs to be and then make the corner. And one thing you're doing is you're showing right there that you're making it very wide. You make it very narrow. Hourglasses want to be narrow.
Okay.
You get more of the energy of the airplane traveling up. As soon as you start to go over at an angle, if you have any kind of wind, it tends to want to blow the airplane down. And it gets so wide, it's hard to make that turn, hard to make the third turn, and then really hard to make the last turn to level flight. So if you keep it very narrow, it always works out better.
I see.
It looks better.
Okay, so is there a particular shape at the top that it should have? Should it have a pyramid, like a half a triangle?
Well, you think of it as two triangles, one inverted on the other. That's what an hourglass is.
Okay.
That's really what the shape ends up being when you're done. It's like two. You come like this, go up, over, down, and out.
Okay.
But that top.
So basically, when you get to the top of it, you're going to be up at the airplane's going to be up where it would be doing a wing over, but you're just going to fly the airplane straight across.
Yep.
And you're going to dive it back inverted down to the bottom, and then you're going to be almost completely inverted when you make your last corner. And
well, it's supposed to be 120 degrees, but if you make it a little narrower, it's easier to do. It looks better. It's a lot easier to fly, and the pull-out's a lot easier. Airplanes have a tendency to flop into inverted coming down that leg, and then it's very hard to make that last turn. And consequently, that's where most airplanes either overturn or, dig up the mud.
They hinge and they crash, right?
Yeah, well, sometimes. But if you make it narrow and make the top a section of a wing over,
Okay.
Hey, Bob,
Yo,
I think it was Art Animation told me that you fly it up and then you get it this shoulder and over that shoulder. Down at this shoulder, down at that shoulder, and bring it
Well,
down.
yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, it depends on where your shoulder is. It could be back, it could be forward. But if you think of it as a section of a wing over, then you'll fly it that way.
But
So
in practice,
basically, it's like the top section. It's like the top section half moon of the wing over, basically.
Yeah.
And then you dive. Then you're gonna, and you don't want to make it too wide because, like you said, it gets wide up there, and then you're gonna lose tension on your line.
If you make it like this, coming down, it's gonna be very hard to make that corner. If you make it like this, it's a lot easier to make the corner, and it looks better.
Looks better too.
It'll score better too.
Looks more like an hourglass that way.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be according to the rule book, but being narrower tends to make the airplane fly cleaner. And if it flies cleaner and looks cleaner, it's going to score better.
Gonna score better. Okay. And let's see what else.
By the way, this is a new face, Charles.
Yeah, we have the guy you're talking to is Steve Minicella. He's
Hi,
a
Steve.
beginner. And Steve, you was talking to Bob Hunt. And so welcome, Bob Hunt. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate your help. Explain it to Steve. And,
Thank you,
and
Bob.
he's absolutely right. You got to keep that thing kind of narrow.
Yep.
And then who came in after Gary? Hey, Gary, how you doing, Gary? Thanks for coming in, Gary. I appreciate it. And John Miller, thank you, John Miller, for coming in. And Caffeine.
John Valentine?
Yeah, John
Hi.
Valentine is here. I was going to get to him next.
It is.
Hey, John?
John Valentine, and we have Caffeine. Thank you, Caffeine, for coming in. And Jim Hoffman, thank you so much for your time. And I wish Lou was here. I'd tell him thank you as well. You guys looking over my plane. I really appreciate that. And then John Valentine, hey, how are you doing?
Not too bad. Got a
Good
broken
to see-
arm.
How'd you do that?
Fell down.
Gee, good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I find that the edge of this cast dings up balsa really bad.
Oh, I bet. Oh, I bet. I know.
Yeah. I'm
Hey,
building
John.
a P-39 semi-scale stunner, kind of an Al Raby genre. But I've got it all assembled and I'm just doing a canopy and details. But
That's a heck of a
I'm making a lot of dents in it.
That's
Hey,
a heck of
John?
a canopy to make for a P-39.
Right.
I'm trying to remember what the P-39 looks like. Is that the Air Cobra?
Yes, Maricopa. Right.
Okay,
Yep.
very nice.
Tricycle gear.
Wow.
I've been watching John's progress. It's he's a very modest person. It's spectacular. It's the fuselage is built in the air. It's all molded balsa. It's spectacular. He's got a full dihedral in the wing with dihedral and swept forward hinge lines. He's got that all working. It's all jigged up.
Well, he's a
Gonna be
master craftsman.
spectacular.
He's a master craftsman. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it should be interesting. The last one I made came out too heavy, of course, but this one may be all right.
The thing I'm more impressed by is not your airplane, but although I am impressed by your airplanes, but that tour you gave me of your house. I still have those pictures we took at your house, and I show them to everybody. That's an amazing home you have.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, John, did you make the cast on your arm?
No, I had it done by a professional.
Okay,
I did pick the color.
very
Oh,
nice.
very nice. Very nice. Very nice. And welcome, Mark Wise. Thank you for coming in, Mark. And
Thanks. I have
Lynn
a
Burrell. Thank you, Lynn, for coming in. And Keith Trossel. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. I'm flattered with all the talent and knowledge we have here tonight. I'm very impressed. Thank you very much.
I have a show until later whenever you want.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, I got one too.
Oh, fantastic. How about you, John? You have any, John
yeah.
Valentine, you have any show and tells, John Valentine?
Well, it's out in the shop, but next time I'll take the camera out there.
Good.
But I have a question for all. I need to get some of that PETG sheet plastic to mold a canopy, and I'm not sure where to get it anymore.
Dave Midgley has some of that. He built a bunch of canopies for me. Let's see if I can get the chat thing, and I'll give you his number.
How thick did you want it, John?
Well, I think it comes in 24 by 48 sheets or 12 by 24 or whatever, something like that. That's
I
all.
used to get it from this company. I can't remember their name right now. US
I just-
Plastics or something like that.
Yeah,
think I
maybe,
bought
but
some-
I
I bought
can't
some
find
on-
them.
I bought some on Amazon. It was 30,000 thick. And I bought it because of Jim Hoffman recommended it for trim tabs. And it's excellent for that.
So do you think 30 thousandths is the thickness to get? They also
I
have
don't know.
20.
It was for a trim tab. I don't know what thickness you want.
I took a look at it today. The thinnest I could find is 20. And I think if you want to vacuum mold a canopy, that's what to use.
The 20. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I
and
think that's what I used.
I Googled it. I was able to find it pretty easily.
Well, the
It's out
stuff
there.
I found on Amazon wasn't really PETG, it was something else.
Did you
Yeah,
get
I
that, John?
Yes. Yeah, I got it, Bob. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a link on my computer. I'll send to you of the stuff I found.
Hey, that link vanished before I could write it down.
Just go down to the bottom. There's that chat. I think it's
Oh, yeah.
click on that and it should be a personal message to you from
Yeah,
Bob.
US
Hunt.
Plastics has a website, John. Just get on US
Oh, I see it. Oh,
Plastics.
yeah, there it is, right there.
They got lots of sheet. That's where I used to get my PETG when I used
US
to.
Plastics?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll try that. All right.
So who do I thank for you coming in, John Calentine? Is it Jim Hoffman? Or just something you just finally got
Oh,
around to?
because I always used to see it on YouTube a few days later. And I thought, oh, that'd be fun. So.
Oh,
so
great.
here I am.
Well,
Oh, so I could
fantastic.
ask some questions. Here's another one.
Sure.
I have a half a gallon of certified non-tartaning nitrate dope that I've had since 2014. Now it's still nice and viscous and thin, but it's a nice brown color now. They think I should use it?
Probably not for a top coat.
No, yeah. Right. I can use it for like a walnut stain.
But for your base coat,
Yeah, just for base coats, just nitrate, for
yeah,
sealing the wood and so forth.
it's still gonna work. It'll work.
It worked on a sample. I just didn't want to do a whole new plane and then find out that it peels off.
Yeah, no, it still seems to work good. I have the same thing with butyrate. I got some butyrate from Windy after he got out of the hobby, and I'm still using it up. And it's the same thing. It all went brown, but stuff works fine.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that works fine.
good news.
Like Bob says, I wouldn't use it on a top coat or
Yeah.
anything because it's gonna
Right.
discolor, but for just like whatever else, it should be fine.
I'll use
John,
it.
if your finish falls off, why, I didn't say anything.
No, me neither.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, way to be safe.
What would be causing the dope to discolor like that? What's breaking down in it?
Well,
that's
it's lacquer.
causing that, or is it just
That's a good question.
It's
I think
lacquer.
I think
It's
it comes
lacquer
from
and
the
it just
can.
tends to yellow over time.
I see.
Just
So dope is actually a lacquer, base
very
or
cheap,
lacquer.
it's a cheap lacquer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the cellulose acetate of butyrate normally, but that's a nitrate he's talking about.
Yeah, it's in a sealed metal can, a gallon can.
Right. And that's even in the sealed metal can is still tinging like that, still tinging brown.
Yeah.
Huh. Wonder if it's from the inside of the can, maybe.
Nope.
I don't think so.
That's interesting. And how old is the dope?
2014. So
Huh.
9 years old.
I see.
Brodac
Interesting.
clear butyrate and Brodac clear nitrate changes and Brodac color changes. Yellow would sometimes turn orange.
That's why I quit using dope several airplanes ago. There's no dope on my airplanes at all, anywhere.
What
What do you use for color now?
What do you use now, Mr. Hunt?
I'm
Lacquer?
using automobile colors, so very high-end stuff though. And it's it goes 2 fluid ounces thin, does 2 coats on the airplane.
Oh shit.
It's automotive paint?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very high-end automotive paint. It's Can't think of the name of it now, but it's made by Valspar, but it's European. And the guy, I was talking to a paint guy, a friend of mine. He said that's the best paint you can get.
Wow. It's very expensive.
Benzer, I think it is, or Ben. I have to get the name. It's downstairs.
You ran out of bronze.
I didn't mention anything about colors. Just said about the type of dough.
What's going on, Mr. Miller? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. I had my definitive statement shortened here last week.
Oh, boy.
Oh yeah.
What? What happened to you? Was that from playing the harmonica?
Yeah, I just nibbled right. No, I was, since my accident, I've got several fingers I have no feeling in. That was one of them. And I was soldering my hand, in the soldering iron, and I didn't even feel it. I didn't know I was burning until I smelled a barbecue.
Wow.
Oh, man. Wow.
Oh, boy.
They cut it off. It was all pretty bad. And I tell you what, it hurt like hell for a while after they cut it.
bet.
God.
I
So
bet.
you,
Oh, my
so you
God.
you lost the end of your finger, Mr. Miller?
I did. Don't call me Mister. I work for a living. You can call me John.
Yeah, you remember, well, how you doing, John? It's been a while. I don't know if you remember or not, but 2 years ago in Vegas, we were sitting at the picnic tables there and chatting
I
away.
was going to ask if that was you.
Yeah,
I was
you
going to
had
ask
that.
if that was you. Yeah, I
You had
remember.
that, I forget what engine it was, but you had that engine for Hot Rod Mike, and he brought it home. I don't remember if it was a PA or a Stalker, or if it was I think it was the other one of the three. I forget which one it was, but remember he got that engine from you?
Yeah. How did it work out for him?
I don't know. I don't know what he ever did with it. I think he just took it home and put it in the drawer.
Yeah, that's common. Well, you're doing okay. I hear you're. It's good to see you.
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm actually been flying all year and working on my stunts and working on trying to get to the big pattern and I just got so to say an upgrade on my Nobler that I've been flying. I got a little change in the muffler and a change in the propeller, and it actually gave me 1,000 RPM increase in my engine performance and kept me with the same lap time and everything. So the performance of the airplane is just outstanding. It's like night and day difference, when you fly your stunts with it. It's like flying a 2-stroke on the power band versus a 2-stroke trying to get on the power band. And it's it's awesome.
You got a great bunch of guys here to talk to. A lot of knowledge here.
Absolutely.
Are you flying with a coach at all?
No, I fly with John Wright, and
well, he's a good coach.
If I have any questions, I ask Mr. Wright, or I watch Mr. Wright real close, and I learn a whole bunch from Mr. Wright. And there's another gentleman in the club. He's kind of I guess he's like the godfather founder of the club, Don Rep, and he flies stunts. He's more of a combat guy, but he flies stunts every Friday morning with John Wright and them. And he's pretty helpful if I, need any information about flight or have anything they need my engines worked on or anything. I just give them to him, and and then I got Tom Muggleston, and so yeah,
you got a lot of good help there, Stephen.
Yeah, I got lots of good help. I got no reasons why I shouldn't be successful at all.
Well, I agree with you. You listen to these guys on here, there's a lot of knowledge, and the guys you're flying with, same thing. I would ask one of them to start coaching you though a little bit. Might help you a lot.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I might do that. I fly with Harris. I fly with Mr. Harris as well too. He comes out there on Friday mornings, and he's pretty.
Steve Harris.
Steve Harris. Yeah.
Charles, we have to do something about him. He's way too polite. He calls people Mister and everything.
I can't help him, man.
Wow.
I know. I had to straighten him out to call me Charles too when I first met him.
Wow.
Yeah, very
Well,
polite.
Yeah.
I just can't tell you enough how much help is available right here. You got some
Right.
of the best going, whether
Right.
it's building, finishing, or flying. They're here.
Absolutely. You know, I need to catch up on the chat box. There's some people I haven't even acknowledged yet. Just give me a second here. Arnie, he says, oh, and he's a member too. And I just hate to butcher your last name. Goularte. Anybody know that person? Anyways,
Say that again.
I think that's a Goularte.
Lordy.
Lardy?
That sounds good. Anyways, he says checking in from Prescott Valley, Arizona. So you must
Jim?
know him.
You
You
should
know
know
him.
him.
You know him, Jim, right? No, we don't know him. I wonder if
Spell that name
I
again.
wonder if David Riggs knows him. You might know David Riggs. Let me know, Arnie, if you know David Riggs. And Todd Simpson says, good evening, everyone. And Gary Sinclair, he provided us a like. And Gary's also a member of our channel as well as Arnie. And the T-Bone 1260 gave us a thumbs up. That's Tom Luciano. And Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Yo. That's his response. Yo. And then Terry Mitchell, he says, I'm building a Mustang wing with dihedral. How do they fly with dihedral inverted? And how well do they turn?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't think it's a big factor.
It's
That's a
fine.
good
Yeah.
question.
Well,
Wow.
John, you have one. John Calentine has one with dihedral.
Yeah, I have the Mustang with the dihedral, and I don't think the dihedral hurts it any. It's got other problems, of course, but not the dihedral.
Well, as long as the lead outs come out on the vertical center of gravity, generally
Right, exactly.
it's pretty good. You know.
I don't think it knows the difference.
Great, thank you. And then next is Mark Lumen, who's also a member. Thank you very much, Mark, coming in. He says, got you like, and he has 4 thumbs up. Watching tonight, been busy at work. Chipmunk almost done. That's good news. Good news. And we have 29 concurrent viewers. We have 19 likes. So if you have not hit the like button, please do that. It won't cost you a penny, and it helps the analytics of the show. So please hit the thumbs up before you forget. And I
Caffeine's
have
got
a,
his hand up.
Where is it?
who's this?
Caffeine had his hand up.
Hey, Caffeine. I know I saw your message, Caffeine. I guess we are ready for that. He has a video to show us his progress. And this video is of which airplane?
It's a Cardinal with an Enya SS40. So I
Cardinal.
just,
Wow.
yes. Yeah, since I crashed my Banshee
Hmm.
with the torn apart engine nose.
Oh,
So I switched to my Cardinal, and then I just want to show you this video, and it's a progress from my flying. Let me
Fantastic.
Can you see it now?
There we go.
Yeah, yeah, it's there.
Oops. There you go.
See. Okay.
You gotta move your tank.
Yeah, it's running fat inverted.
can you make him big?
All right. Thank you, Caffeine.
Yep, that's. I just want to share you that I finally could do the inverted flight for more than 1 lap. The last time I show it to you guys, it was only like 3/4 of laps inverted. But on this video, I want to share you that I finally made it like more than one full laps of inverted flight without crashing. You know.
Congratulations.
That's quite an accomplishment. That is a quite an achievement. Not everybody can do that. So that's great. So you're on your way. That's good. So is it the plane flies better than the Banshee that made that possible, or just what is it?
Yep, it did. In fact, the plane is much better, much stable. I guess it's a bigger plane, so it felt more stable than my Banshee with L825. It's all good, but I had some
Banshee only had a 25 on it.
Yep, L825.
Only an L825. How much did your Banshee weigh?
Around 38 to 39 ounce.
Really?
Yep.
That's pretty. I don't know. Sounds not too heavy, but that's kind of a small engine for a Banshee, I think, in my opinion.
Yep.
Well,
That would make me. That always, in my opinion, you're always remember. I'm not like anybody to be pronouncing things, but always kind of remember, if you have too much power in your ship, is always better than not having enough power. You know, you can always turn the power down by lengthening your lines or adding a prop or changing the pitch or tuning down. But if you have an airplane that's underpowered, sometimes you can't ever get what you need to get out of it, and you'll end up crashing it. You know what I mean? You'll lose.
Power and speed are two different things.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I have an old saying. There's only one correct amount of horsepower for a stunt model. Way too much.
But that LA-25 has more power than the Fox 35 the plane was designed for.
Yeah, you're probably right, John. It probably does.
So, Caffeine, I want to make sure you understand what Bob Hunt said about moving your tank. Do you understand which direction to move the tank?
We'll move it up.
So that if you have the plane sitting down on its wheels, you want to move the tank up.
Yep.
Okay. So when you flip it over on its back, you want to move it down, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I remember I was out in the field one time, and I was thinking I need to move the tank up, flip the plane over on its back. I moved the plane up, then moved the tank up, and I took over the flight. I go, it's even worse than it was last time.
Yeah, you had the wrong way.
What's going on? And I did this over and over, and I finally, mind you, it was like 107 degrees. So give me a little break on that. But yeah, it's very confusing. That's why Wendy Wanowski said to move either away from the engine bearers or toward the engine bearers. That way, no matter if you have it on its back or if it's on its wheels, it's still the same. You can't get that confused. So think
Charles?
Hello? Who's that?
Hi, Charles.
Huh?
Joel Chesler. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Joel. How you doing? I didn't recognize the name.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic,
you know,
Joel.
I'm doing great. We moved up to Paradise here, or as it's known as Central Coast.
Right.
Still about a year ago, still working on getting my shop back. But you know, I have to head to a meeting. I just wanted to is Keith Trossel there?
Yep.
Keith Trossel in the meeting?
Keith is here.
Hi,
Keith,
Joel.
are you there?
Hi, Joel.
No, Keith. Hi, Keith. I wanted to congratulate you on what is about to happen at the Nats with Pamper, and it looks like you are pretty much the honorary for discussing that at the Nats, and I thought that you deserve some recognition for that for sure. So I wanted to congratulate
Win Paul's part of that, and Mark Weiss.
yeah, okay. Well, you're certainly one of them that started that. By the and I just rejoined. I'm still waiting to get some newsletters from them. But anyway, congratulations. I hope it goes very well at the Nats.
Thank you, Joel.
I have to get off. Unfortunately, I have a meeting, but I've been wanting to give you a call and wish you lots of luck at the Nats. Speak to you soon, buddy.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Joel. Thanks for coming in. Tell Diane I said
Charles.
hi. Tell Diane I said hi, too.
Thank you very much. and you guys have a great meeting. I got to head. Sorry, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks. Thanks for coming in.
All right.
Great. So
Hey, Mark Gerber, I wanted to ask you, have you got your airplane done yet?
Yeah, you want to see it?
Yeah.
I had a rollout today.
Oh. Wow, look at that.
All right. Wow.
Looking nice.
Oh,
Beauty.
beautiful.
wow.
Is that a modified Nobler?
Very funny.
Grumman, that's a Grumman Guardian, isn't it?
Bearcat.
Bearcat?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, very, very nice.
Beautiful.
That's full. That's beautiful. Wow. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I got the control surfaces. I test fitted them today. They're not permanently attached yet.
Oh, that's magnificent, man. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Took it out in front of the driveway and took a few pictures.
That's beautiful. Did you weigh it?
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah, it's just about exactly 60 ounces
Oh, wow, that's
Beauty. That's
without
awesome.
without any tip weight.
Yeah. But
That's beautiful.
Good, you're there.
Yeah.
How big is the wing on that?
57 inches.
Nice. What's the power?
The Super Tiger 60.
Very nice.
What's the area on the wing, Mark?
It's a lot less than you'd think. I think it's like 580.
Wow, that's not big.
Wow.
It's not that big.
Well,
That's what the Mustang is.
it's very thick.
Yeah.
Brady built his airfoils, and it has very large flaps.
Mark, I think it's closer to 620. I'm not sure. I can go.
Is it? Okay. I think I calculated, I got it on my plan somewhere, but I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a lot less than I thought it was going to be.
Well,
That's beautiful.
that's an Al Raby design, right?
Yep, that's just Bearcat 3.
Yeah. Didn't he used a semi-symmetrical airfoil, remember?
Not on the Bearcat.
Not on this one.
Oh, okay.
He did that on his,
C3.
yeah, the one that John Calentine built.
That's a beautiful airplane, man. That's nice. That's very nice. Wow.
So I'm looking forward to get it in the air and then hopefully get it to fly really well. We'll see.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Keith had one that flew pretty good.
Well, he's the one that inspired me to do this and
I remember getting a ride on that one time.
put me in touch with you, and you put together a lost foam wing for me.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you? Well,
Well,
obviously.
you just saw it, yeah.
Yeah, worked out pretty good.
Haven't flown it yet, so I'll let you know.
Well,
So
if
if I
it flies
remember-
good, it's all because of the wing. If it flies poorly, the wing had nothing to do with it.
Very good. Very good. So I know that Bob Hunt, you have something to share with us, and so does you, Mark Wise. Was there someone else who had something to share?
I gotta go get it. And I gotta walk over my dog here. My dog is recuperating from a ACL tear, so she's doing okay. I'll be back.
All right. So Mark, what do you have to share, Mark?
Well, Bob called me a couple of days ago to talk about some things with the banquet. And he said, how's your impact coming? And I said, it's coming about the way it did about 90 days ago. I said, I've been busy, busy with hobby stuff, but not building and flying, which is not exactly ideal. And most of my time has been going toward the Nats. And then all of a sudden I realized the Triple Tree is 10 days away or something. And we don't have enough ring rats. So yesterday I said, well, listen, I really should start building one. I've probably built over 20. And I want to show you to you, not that Keith's going to be jealous of my workmanship, but it has some really interesting design features that I wish I could get. I could get Bill Stevens at Stevens Aero to scale it up, because he uses very little hardwood and he uses some really interesting techniques. So I just want to share this with you. It won't be as exciting as Bob's, but it's not all together. I just put it like this so you can get an idea.
Let me make you
You can
big here.
see it. Okay,
Oh, wow.
it's a very thick wing.
Yeah.
Needs some final sanding. It's a profile. Okay, it's
Isn't that
it's
neat?
called a ring rat, so I think it's
That's
probably.
ring rat, bro. That's a nice one.
I think it comes off of a ringmaster. It's incredibly strong. If you've seen some of the 4,000 flights that people have put on with, particularly Will Davis and I, and some others, it takes some hits that are just spectacular. The wing,
Wow.
you can't twist the wing without breaking it. You're gonna have to really work on it to break it. The wood is light, and what he does on the wing, he has shear webs in a couple of places. Okay, here and the outer bay, and they're all directionally oriented regarding the grain. So everything ends up looking like a castle. You got one sheet going this way, one sheet going that way, kind of hitting a point in the middle. It's incredibly strong. Other things about it, if you want to see, I think the best probably laser cutting you can imagine. You build this entire wing and you don't glue anything. You build the whole wing. And until you put the sheeting on, which is pre-cut right here. And the reason for that is that with the way it's jigged, your shear webs will be perfect. They're already constructed, already cut. So if you glued something crooked, you couldn't get the shear webs in properly. So I just love the design. I need to do a little more work on it. Let me take it out of here. So I think it could be a great, there we go, a great subject. The profile is kind of interesting too. If you look at the front, if I could find it, there it is. You'll see some locating holes. And on that side, you'll see some formers. These are 30-second plywood, very stiff. They're keyed, as is the fuselage. And you have to force them to go in. And once they're in, they're just about impossible to get out. It's that good a fit. So the whole thing is built with CA, a little bit of thin and mostly medium. The sides here are 1/32 ply, just cut beautifully. And he also has bass on the bottom. Okay, you can see a bass strap
Yeah, I see that.
here, okay? Which really gives the whole thing strength. What I do in the back, you'll see that I add a little, see if you can see it on that side. There you go.
Yeah, I see
See
it.
the offset of the rudder?
Yes.
I just put in that little triangle just to give it a little more strength with all the people who are flying these who've never flown before. And it just stiffens up the back assembly.
Little gusset.
A little gusset. It's really a joy to build. I have probably maybe 12 hours in it. What I still have to do is final sanding, any nicks and dings I want to complete. Also interesting is the bell crank mount is one of the few pieces of plywood in the airplane. It goes to 3 ribs. On the other side is an optional battery tray if you want to fly stunt. I mean, real stunt. Joe Gilbert at Brodak 2 years ago, stock with this, flew the whole pattern. Okay, 52-foot lines, 3-cell, 2-cell.
Wow.
1250 thunder power and a APC prop. So, other interesting things, the back.
On 52-foot lines. Wow.
Yeah, if you can see the back spars are 1/4 by 1/8 balsa, very soft, and you have to feed them in from one side and push them through because the hole it goes through in every rib is basically the same size. And then when you add the shear webs to it, you just can't move it. So the guy seems to really have a good handle on material selection and designing. Most of his airplanes are RC, but he has several control line models. It's Stevens Aero. He builds them in Colorado. I met him right when Joe Knoll was starting at Toledo, and he's probably given us 20 airplanes, no cost. We just tell people this is what we fly. We've given him a lot of sales. And what I do with the fuselage, it's going to be sprayed with a low shine clear. I usually put on about 3 coats, sand it. Some people say, why do you go to the trouble? Well, I want people who fly it to not have a piece of junk to fly.
Right.
Right.
Right. To have something
decent that's going to last and be strengthful and strong and durable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The wing is going to be ultra coat. It's a little heavier than what he recommends, but it's so durable and it's so easy to work with. And then I put some sponsor labels on it. Thunder Power, people we get all our adhesives from.
Nice.
Sullivan, they give us a lot of stuff for free every year. So it's good to have friends in the business. And so this is what I did in the last, 10 hours or so.
Very, very nice. Now, what do those kits retail for?
Last time I looked, I think they're about $99. And they're very well packed.
Where do you get them from?
Stevens Aero.
Stevens Aero?
Yep, in Colorado.
Okay.
They're fun to fly.
Oh, they really are fun to fly. I'll tell you what we did a couple of years ago. We had, I think, 3 of the top 5 at Triple Tree that year. Dave Fitzgerald always comes. Derek Barry comes. Joe was there. I don't think Bob was there that year. But we were just playing around. I said, why don't we do this? Let's see who can do the slowest flight inverted. And that was the only way I could kind of hold my place because I can fly this pretty well. You can have a lot of fun with it. And the way you set it up, normally at Triple Tree, we put the battery right here. Okay. Makes it a little bit nose heavy. If the plane goes in hard, the battery tends to just fly off, which is fine. We fly it with a 2-channel car receiver and a cheap car transmitter so we can control the throttle speed. Okay, the student is controlling the pitch. And that has really worked out well. We use 8.4 props, very flexible. They're very inefficient, but they don't break as often. And then when we do serious flying, we put an APC on, which is so much different. And the difference is just monumental. But it'll do the whole pattern.
Very good.
It's a nice little airplane. So I just wanted to share it with you and see what I'm doing when I'm not trying
Thank you very much.
Find new Pampa members.
Somebody needs to, okay, yeah, he's awake. I was gonna say, somebody needs to reach over and smack Keith and wake him up.
I'm here.
He's awake. And then wake up. And then wake up Lynn Burrell, too.
Yeah, hey, Len.
Hey, Lynn. Wake up, Lynn.
Hey, wake up, eh?
Len, Naomi sold your airplanes.
That was a good one. That was a good one, Mark. That was very good. Let me
we're getting old.
Let me welcome Bob Gore. Hey, Bob, thanks for coming in.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
And so if you're ready, Bob, I hate that for Lynn to miss it, but go ahead and share with us what you wanted to share with us.
Hey, Len, wake up. I'm tapping on this thing there.
Yeah.
Let me get this. Turn off the light.
I think Lynn's working too hard. You gonna bring that ugly thing out again?
What's
that
that?
beautiful thing?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I was just chiding you a little bit, Bob. I said, ask you to bring that ugly thing out again.
Wow, that is so pretty.
Got the turning point ready for clear.
Very pretty.
All right.
Man, I love those twin rudders.
Wow, nice.
That's nice.
But is that the LA Heat 2 or what?
What's that?
Is it the LA Heat 2 or what?
LA.
It's his own design.
This is my own design.
Yeah.
Did you use a single battery?
It's
Didn't you
electric,
design
it's a single battery electric retract airplane.
All right.
Oh, that's electric?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all I fly is electric.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty Bob.
That looks good. I like the way you trimmed it. It's kind of minimalist trim, but very traditional.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of stuff on the airplane. I like them to be clean. So
Yeah.
That looks so good, Bob.
yeah, thanks, guys. It's,
I want to have something like that, but it's gonna look like
is
a
it
Hornet.
reading correctly? Because on my screen, it's reading backwards.
No, it's
It's
reading.
reading,
right.
yeah, it looks great. It's,
You're right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
USA 1114.
What's that?
It says USA 1114.
There you go. Yeah. So it's ready for clear later this week. I'll get it up to Joel's and we'll shoot the clear, and then it's buffing and getting ready for the match. You know?
What
That's
motors
cool.
you planning for that, Bob?
I want a twin that size.
What-
that's
what's
gonna
that?
look like- I
What
want a
motors are
twin
you
that
planning
size
for
that's Gonna
that?
look like a
These are
Hornet.
badass 28, 2780s.
That should do it.
Got two. It's going to have two Talon 35s, or maybe even spin 44, spin 35, or spin 33s, and probably a Li-Ion 6S 2600.
Single battery?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a very good battery, though.
Yeah. Well, and the other twin, which is bigger than this one, and a little heavier, quite a bit heavier. The 2600, I'm flying a whole flight with two 10-inch props coming down. And I'm putting 1800 back into a 2600.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's
I'm
nice.
coasting them.
Good.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just, yeah.
And I got to tell you, the worst part about doing a twin is painting around the nacelles, getting into the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have to be a contortionist to get in there.
I bet. Yes.
So I'm going to rethink my trim on the next one, so I don't have to go in there and putting
Yeah.
those pinstripes in there painting those in there was a real pain.
Well, a
Right.
real twin often has glare panels on the insides.
Has what?
Glare panels on the inside of each nacelle, so that they don't get a reflection of it. I'm
Yeah,
talking about-
I've got some olive drab I'll send to you, Bob.
Right?
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Keith.
You
You
know,
could
Bob,
paint
I
them
don't know if
before you
you,
put them on.
I'll send you some of my reject ball fluid.
hey, Bob, before you put it away, Bob, Keith had a question, but John Miller and Keith talked at the same time. So go ahead, Keith, go ahead and ask or make a comment. I'm not sure what you're saying.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm gonna have a twin that size, but it's not gonna look like that. And Bob, you said you'd help me with it. It's gonna
Yeah,
be, that.
anytime you want, man.
It's gonna be a Hornet. It's gonna be basically your dimensions, I think.
We got another one of these downstairs. That's the exact same wing and fuselage. Joel Costantino, the guy who where we go to paint our airplanes. He does Barrett Jackson level restorations up in northern Pennsylvania, and he's got a beautiful shop that we go into, and explosion-proof fans and lights up the walls and across the ceiling, and the best guns and everything. But he wanted a twin, so we're building in my shop here. We're building another one of these, but it's going to be it's going to look more like a Crossfire. He came up with the quintessential name for a twin Crossfire. He's calling it Double Cross.
Oh, I like that. Yeah,
That's
very
good.
cool. Very good.
Hey,
And
Bob,
Yeah,
I want to thank you and Mark Gerber for showing such beautiful airplanes and making mine
Yes.
look like hell.
not a problem, Mark.
Thank
Not
you
a
very
problem.
Well, yours is not even finished yet, Mark.
I'm going to do a hell of a job finishing it.
Okay. And Bob, I have some
Might have just
comments from
added
the,
6 more months.
I have some comments, Bob, from the chat box.
Yeah.
From Todd Stimson says, will Bob's Turning Point be available as plans or kit? It's magnificent.
Well, certainly not a kit. No. Plants, perhaps. Frankie Imbriaco has been flying one he had the first one. I mean, I designed this several years ago. I made all the component parts, and then I got off on another project, and I just recently put this one together. But Frankie's had one flying for a while. I can actually bring a picture of that up in a minute here. And yeah, we may have plans for this one. It's a nice airplane. It's easy to build. Let me see if I can find the.
Well, what's the most important thing in setting up twin to fly?
What's that?
What's the most important item to make sure you got right in making a twin fly correctly?
Well, I mean, like any airplane, alignment and all that stuff's got right, and weight and all that stuff. But the twin, the thing that gave us the hold on just a second. Let me see if I can find Frankie's twin here. Yeah. Okay, hold on a second. Now I got to go to share. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is pretty.
It's the same airplane.
Yeah, yeah.
Just he did a little different treatment of the nose than I did, but basically the same airplane. And it flies great. It really does. It's an exceptionally good flying airplane. But to get back to John's question, and I can show a picture of that too while talking about it, is the alignment of the nacelles. When we were building these things, it was difficult to figure out how to mount the nacelles onto the wing accurately. And we figured out that you don't mount the nacelles to the wing or to the airplane. You mount the airplane to the nacelles. And if you give me just a minute here, I will find a picture that explains how you do that. I got it right here.
Very nice.
You mount the nacelles to little blocks that are in proper alignment to each other. So you get them exactly in alignment to each other. And then you slide the airplane in and align the airplane over these datum lines that are on the screen there on the plot. And that works perfectly every time. Every one of the twins we built, and we built several of them now, have flown right off the board. They groove like freight trains. They turn equally. But that was the hardest thing to figure out, was how to mount the nacelles or accurately on the wing. And again, we just turned it around. We didn't do that. We mounted the airplane to the nacelles. And
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Bob.
yeah, that was the tricky part. But once we figured that out, now it's simple. And they're no more difficult than building a single engine airplane or a single motor airplane, except for the fact you got to make two nacelles, you know.
So it flew right off the board, huh?
Every one
All of them. I have a theory about this thing about flying right off the board. There's a finite number of airplanes that are going to fly right off the board. And all those airplanes were used up in 1951.
That's funny. Very good one, Keith. That was good. Bob, there's two more questions for you. Terry Mitchell says, Bob, what's the wing area and what should it weigh?
This one is about 660 squares. And it's going to weigh about, hopefully, 58 ounces all up, maybe 60 ounces. But on a twin, it's hard to relate a twin weight to a single engine airplane weight, because in a single engine airplane, you have a single prop. And let's say the maximum diameter anybody's running nowadays is, let's say, 12 to 13 inch props. All right. So that's 12 inches of disc span covering the wing. And actually, part of it's hitting the fuselage. But on a twin with two 10-inch props, you have 20 inches of disc span. So you got 20 inches of accelerated air going over the wing and the tail, creating lift. Speed creates lift, and all that artificial air blast creates a tremendous amount of lift. So these things fly like they weigh several ounces less than they really are. And with the retracts, they really fly like they weigh a lot less. Here's an interesting fact. When we had the very first test bed twin we did, Buddy Weeder and I did several years ago, back around 2012 or 13, we took it out to fly it the first day. It had retracts, and Buddy wanted to do the whole thing in one day. And I said, no, we're going to get the motors running the first day, and then the next day we'll do the retracts. So we flew it several times, did several patterns, and I took it home. And I had in those days, I had 4S 4000 packs and power 10s, about 1,000 kV motors. And we took it back to the house and charged battery. And I put 2,400 milliamps back into a 4,000. The next day, we took it out and retracted the landing gear and flew several patterns. And then we took the charge of battery and we put 1,800 milliamps in. That's 25% less power usage with the gear up. 25%.
Yeah, it's very good.
Impressive.
Yeah, it was startling, actually. You know,
You could actually use a bit smaller battery, save a little more weight.
yeah, I got a picture of that airplane.
Then I have a comment, not a question. This is from Let's RC. It says, very nice build, Bob.
Oh, thank you.
That's from Let's RC.
It's pales compared to Mark Gerber's airplane, but that's okay. But that's the original testbed twin.
I remember when you built that.
And that has retracts and everything, tricycle gear retracts. And it flew, it's still flying. Matter of fact, I gave it to Joel Costantino and he's still flying that airplane.
Say, Bob, how does the drag of the wheels affect, or how does it affect once you retract them? Does it make a difference in the track?
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever had a ringmaster?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
At a flight street.
A lot of people here will be able to identify with this. Do the ringmasters fly better with the gear on or off?
Off.
It's like a different airplane, right?
Yeah.
It's an amazingly better flying airplane. Same thing here. Years ago, we were going to do this in '76. I started to build the '76 airplane with retracts. My dad was an automation engineer. He designed and made a set of retracts that were very, very light. And for actuation, we were using glow back in those days. And for actuation, he figured out a system where he put a bimetal switch in the muffler. And as soon as you start the engine, the bimetal would make, and it would say gear up. So prevent the gear from coming up until you took off. We had a little free flight timer. And you would kick that free flight timer off, and when it bottomed, it did the circuit, and of course the bimetal had already made, the gear would go up. And the instant the motor shut off, the bimetal would go the other way, and the circuit would be broke, or would go the other way, and the gear would come down. It worked to perfection. But the problem was we had never flown an airplane, a big airplane, without the landing gear. So I took my 75 airplane out, and I took the landing gear out of it, and we went out over some tall grass, soft grass, and he hand washed it. And it flew unbelievably well until the wind came up. And then it rocketed through maneuvers. It had no drag, and it would just accelerate through maneuvers. And now with the electric, we can dial out all that speed. You know, we can make it go any speed we want, downhill and uphill. And that's all changed now. So the retracts now have become viable, and certainly the twins have become viable because of electric motors, which are counter-rotating, so you get rid of the P factor, all that stuff, and spiral airflow effects, and none of it is going around the fuselage, hitting the vertical fin like it is on a single-engine airplane. So I think twins have a very promising future in the event.
I agree with you.
Besides, they look cool.
Yeah, that's for
And
sure.
they're fun to fly. And
They're
they
real
sound
fun
great.
to fly.
They sound great.
They're very, very fun to fly. So
Hey, Jim Hoffman, how was the fun fly?
It was fun. No, it was very nice. Lou and I left super early Saturday morning from here, from my house. So we got to the site at about 9:30.
Wow.
And the weather was beautiful. We could park in the grass under the trees. And there were quite a few people there. And so there was a swap meet going on. And a lot of people were there. I had Warren Walker was there. I hadn't seen Warren since before COVID. And Dave Saban came,
Uh,
and I think I'm the only one that's seen Dave, and Charles has seen him. But Dave has stayed away for a long, long time, and he was there. So we flew a little bit. I flew a glow airplane, which is different. I got to see Charles face to face. Hadn't seen you face to face since last year. It was very nice, very nice. Steve Harris was there, and they fed us a terrific lunch, and it was very nice, very nice.
Great.
They had enough success that they said they'll probably do it again. So
Hey,
Yeah, it was
Jim.
a lot of fun.
Hey,
I'm
Jim,
anxious. Go ahead, Mark.
I want to thank you for giving someone my phone number. They wanted to talk about Pampa and enrolling. So I spent some time on the phone with the gentleman. I can't think of his name right now, but he spoke highly of you.
Jim Lawlett.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm anxious to see how Fun Flies do, because running model airplane contests is very, very difficult, and as things evolve in the coming years, I always wonder what's going to become of our contests. One possibility is potentially tournament of Fun Flies.
Yep.
So I don't know. This is the first one I've really gone to. So Lou sold
Sunday.
2 airplanes. So
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time. Joe Mata and myself and Carl Reed, we drove up together, and another friend of mine who I'm teaching how to fly, Keith Bozell. So it was great to have those guys up there. And anyone know Anton Gephardt?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
He has so much wit, right? So I'm talking to him about his plane, and he explains to me that this plane, Charles, is a tribute to you. This is a Charles Carter tribute plane, and I was totally flattered, right? I'm just like, wow, I'm surprised. I'm just in shock. And then he shows me planes, a modified Strega with a Stalker 81, and that's kind of where I come in, because that's what he saw me fly, was a Strega with a Stalker 81. So he modified, it didn't look like a Strega, but he said, yeah, when I saw you fly and you got over 500 points, I thought I could do better than that. So he kind of complimented me, and then he slapped me down.
That's all right. That's Anton. Thing is, the guy can fly.
Oh, Anton, yes, yeah. He had some.
He can fly pretty good.
He had some pretty planes out there. He had a not only that modified Strega, which he calls a Hexel. I think it's German for witch. Because Strega is witch, right, in some language, and so this is Hexel. And then he had a I love this twin Epiphany. Then he, which is a profile. Then he had a built up Epiphany, a twin Epiphany. I didn't see the twin, the built up one fly, but they looked really nice. A lot of checkerboards, a lot of different colors, a lot of painting. But yeah, he had some pretty planes.
That's a Pat Johnson design.
Right.
It was a very, very nice design. Elliptical wing, and I think elliptical stab elevator. It's a nice looker.
Yeah.
And it was Stan Tyler was there. I hadn't seen Stan Tyler in a while. And like Jim said, Steve Harris, Al Shorley, who I haven't seen in a while. Lou Walgas. It was good. It was some good deals. I actually helped some of my friends buy some things. I was pointing to them, get this, you need this, you need that, you need that. So I was just helping some of these vendors make some money, and also helping my friends to get some good quality stuff at good prices. So it was great.
I didn't know Lou was there. I missed Lou, damn it.
Yeah. And then they had combat going on too. So there was another I don't know how many other individuals was over there. So it was a good turnout.
The weather was exceptionally good for Whittier. I've endured some miserable days out there at contests. So here it is, a fun fly, and the weather was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Not too hot, not cold, and it really never got too windy till maybe 2-3 in the afternoon.
Well, Jim, I actually took your advice, yours and Lou Walgas. I did take the motor out and kind of modify the mounting holes on the engine lugs, so able to cock the motor out a little bit more. And I took off today. Every flight, every rollout, it didn't come in, and vastly improved. So thank you very much. I still want to do the other things you recommended as well, with the lead outs and the sealing the hinge lines and the elevator, and moving the lead outs, like I said. So it's coming along. It's flying much better. I'm glad I didn't fly. I think that was a good choice that I didn't fly.
Were you able to measure? Were you able to
Yeah,
measure?
I did measure it. I did. When I first measured it before I moved the engine, it was about from the trailing edge to the one blade, the same blade. It was about 50 was that centimeters, I think I measured. And then the other panel was about 50. So it was pretty much straight. So I actually I put like a equivalent of 3/16 variance, where it's
That's what you're looking for, like
yeah,
a quarter-inch differential.
That made, and I'm gonna
good starting place.
Elongate those holes a little bit so I can move it the motor. I can move it a little bit more without rubbing on the spinner, so I can even get a little bit more out of it. So it's great advice.
I have a question. If you want to show a video, how do you do that?
Caffeine, where did caffeine go? I think you just do the things. I think you just bring the video up, and then you do share, and you just select it, just like you do with your images.
Let me try that real quick. If it doesn't work, then all right, maybe that'll work. Hold on a second.
Sure. And Terry Mitchell says, I just want to thank you guys for all your knowledge and sharing all those awesome tips to all of us who love to fly stunt. Well, you're most welcome. That's what this show is about. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you coming in, Terry. And then Edward Carlisle says, like sent. And thank you, Edward.
I'm having a hard time getting that to work.
Yeah, I've never shared a video, but I think that's all you do. Actually, I have shared a video. Yeah, you just bring it up, and then you go down to the bottom and hit share, and then you select it again.
Let me see if I can make that work. I lost.
Gentlemen, I have to get off the meeting here and go in and feed myself. My diabetes is hungry.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming in, Steve. Please make it a habit.
Thanks, Steve.
Good to see you,
Yeah,
Steve.
great show. When is the next get-togethers, on Friday?
Friday, yeah, every Monday and Friday evening.
Okay, I'll see you guys all on Friday. Okay, and it was great to participate, and it was great to see everybody's face.
Great, fantastic. I feel the same way, man. Thank you very much.
Take care,
Okay,
Steve.
all right. Have a good evening. Okay.
All righty, man.
All right. See you guys on Friday.
Great.
All right. Good night.
I got a question.
Go ahead, John.
Anybody have a current phone number for Mark, the guy that used to sell the fuel? Who got Wolgas bought the business from it?
Mark Smith?
Yeah,
He doesn't sell fuel anymore.
I know. But at the VSC, he had some airplanes for sale. One of them, Gordon said he should have bought it. It was one of my designs. And I'd like to contact him if he still has it, make arrangements to pick it up. So that's one of the contests.
John?
Yeah.
I have his contact information. And I'm going to make sure I have your contact information. And then I'll send you his information privately.
I appreciate that.
Okay, will do.
All right, I'm going to try this, Charles, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please do.
All right, now this is the very first flights, very first couple of days we did with the, and my son had the camera for the first part of the flight sideways, so bear with me, but this is the earliest videos of the twins flying. We make it go here. Let's see.
Sideways.
Oh, there we go. Excellent.
Makes the wing load a little easier.
Oh, there we go. Very nice.
That's one of the first flights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plane sure does fly quiet.
Twins are nice. Electric twins are even better.
Like it's slowing down. Not fun.
Yeah, it was. We had to adjust the motors and the battery and everything. That, like I say, it was one of the very first flights. And of course, that's antiquated compared to what they are now, you know. But that gives you an idea, you know.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think
Very
I might
cool.
even have one that shows the startup. The startup was really impressive.
Hey, Bob, I think Len has a question for you.
Sure.
Hey, Lenny.
Len has a, oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Good old Len. He's a good guy.
He is a good guy.
Don't tell him I said that.
I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm looking for the one where it's the spool up because that's really impressive. I'm not sure this is it or not. If you watch close, you can see the gear go up.
Oh, those lines are shiny. Those flying
They're solid.
lines. Yeah.
That's all I fly on. And just, like I say, this was like the very first couple of days.
Amazing.
It wasn't turning real well, it was sliding, and we had to do a lot of work on it, but it came around quick. We learned a lot from this airplane. We learned a lot about what not to do. Anyway, just a thought.
So how long of flying lines are you using?
Those are about 67 feet from the center of the airplane to the center of the handle. Maybe even 68 feet. I mean, pretty long.
It's pretty cool.
They're so much fun to fly.
Oh, I bet. I've only flown one twin, and I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, it was icy, and I couldn't get the motors to run the same, and only had one good flight out of many, many attempts. I mean, the plane flew good, but the motor, and I couldn't get both motors to perform well.
There's one guy that can get them to run this pretty much like electric motors, and that's Gordon Delaney,
Right.
who's the godfather of twins. His Pathfinder profile twin, I flew that 1 year after VSC, and that's what really lit my fire. I had already started building a twin, but I was kind of like putting it on the back burner until I flew his. And then I just, you know, it lit my fire to fly.
Yeah, it was, I mean, and that one good flight was such a tease. You know, I just kept endlessly pursuing. And this is after, you know, Dave Sabon had tried with Bob Brooks. I mean, they had tried and tried and tried. I think Dave Sabon said he tried like 10 different engines and several different iterations of tanks, fuel tanks, and he just never could get it to work. And he called me up in frustration, not at me, but just, he said, Charles, if you want it, you can have it, minus the engines. And that's how I came into his twin. But I never could get. Say it again?
Converted to electric.
Yeah, I know. Actually, Dave did build an electric one, Dave Sabon, and Bob Brooks has it. And his son-in-law has it right now, but his son-in-law is working and doesn't have time to fly. So I have eyes on that one. Hopefully I can get that one.
Yeah. Just thought. Anyway.
Electric's the way to go with the twin.
I think so.
I really.
Well, after all the frustration I had and Dave Sabon and Bob Brooks, I'm convinced that's the way to go.
I found with flying the twin flight streak at VSC several years, the outboard engine always goes rich, and even if it's out further, it has more centripetal force on it. The fuel, you really gotta. That's the balancing factor. Get the speed right, get the forces right on the fuel load. It's difficult. It can be done. Gordon showed me it can be done, but he's an engine guy. He's a motorhead. So
Anton Gephardt, he had his twin Epiphany IC flying and running really well. And I've seen him do that a couple times, so he has it down. I don't know what Anton does, but his was running great. Matter of fact, I have a video of it flying on my channel. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And unfortunately, I was too lazy to get up to really put the camera where it should have been, but you can get an idea of how well those motors ran. If you watch
Bruce
that
Perry's
video.
got a really good running one. He's got
Bruce Perry? Oh, yeah.
He's got a really good one.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say it couldn't be done. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I don't know what the trick is, but yeah, I tried all kind of things.
And with the electric, you can get the counter rotating, which I think is a huge benefit.
Yes.
And you get all that spiral airflow from around the fuselage. And it's not hitting the fin, causing a weather vaning effect and everything. It's amazing how much they fly almost like jets. It's almost like they're not prop airplanes anymore.
I bet.
Yeah,
Well, you know what?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is the first day of May, and Gary Sinclair, he does such an awesome job with these calendars. I want to bring up an image of the May month of the calendar. Just give me a second to locate that, and I'll share that. Let me see.
Thanks again, Gary, for doing all that. That's great.
You bet. I think he's asleep.
Wake up, Gary. Or he's
I'm
awake.
here. I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's there.
He's awake. So I'm just
Reach in
pulling
and
up.
smack Len and wake Len up.
I hope this is not an image of Lynn and that he's gonna miss. Let me see here.
That's got to be uncomfortable for Lynn.
He's awake now.
Oh yes.
Is he awake now?
Oh,
Hey, Jonathan Corradas, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, good.
Great. I'm
Good
going
to
to
see
show
you.
the month of May. And let me see here. Oh wow! Look who's in the month of May. I didn't plan this. Let me. Let me share
We
this.
all know
now.
who it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was.
Oh my goodness.
You guys see it?
There you go.
Yeah,
I remember that flight streak.
I did. I still got it. Yeah, needs a little work, but
Remember you did an interview of my DVD, my tape?
yes, I did. That was fun.
Yeah.
This is
That
so
thing's
strange. Whenever I share, I can't see it. I don't understand why I can't see my own share. I got 3 monitors. You'd think I would be able to see it somewhere.
That twin with that high aspect ratio wing, man, that thing turned and flew well.
Yeah, I remember that flying.
So that's my Nobler. I saw a Ryan Stay, I think it's called, in Hobby
STA.
Shack in Arizona, and it was up in the ceiling, and I was like, that is the most beautiful plane I've ever seen. And prior to that, I didn't know what I was going to do for the color scheme, and so I pretty much replicated the Ryan Stay aerobatic plane, and that's
Yeah,
and
it's STA. It's STA.
Ryan STA. Okay.
Yep.
Ryan STA. And then I don't know if you can make out, but it says Zoe Life, the wing, and that's just to the Zoe life that you have when you receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. So that's what I had on the inboard panel, the Zoe life, and good flying plane. And unfortunately, I was flying with a bunch of guys, and then they all had to leave, and I went ahead and set up my stooge, and unbeknownst to me, I set up my stooge lines on top of my flying lines.
Oh boy.
And my stooge was not going anywhere. Trust me. I had a paver holding down the and they were spectral lines. So my stooge line was a spectral line. So it basically, when I took off, it just shredded the stainless steel lines, and the plane crashed after less than 3/4 of a lap. Broke the fuselage in 3 pieces. I still have the wing, but that plane is a pleasant memory.
Who's the athletic dude in the picture there beside the Nobler?
That's me. Thank you, Jonathan.
Hey, it's good to see John there too.
Good to be
Yeah,
here.
John. The other John with the beard. How are you, John?
I'm doing well. Like I told them earlier, my critical statement got a lot smaller.
Oh dear.
I got a bad burn and they had to cut the end of my finger off.
When you're driving, how do you communicate with other drivers now?
I wanted to mummify it and put it on a stick so I could just put it on the dash, you know.
Ooh.
They wouldn't do it.
Hey.
Wow.
Oh God.
So I still got the other one though.
Yeah.
It's on the driver's side.
You can get electric starters. You don't have to lose fingers, you know.
Well, this happened because of a soldering iron accident. I have no feeling in that finger from a previous accident, and so when I slid down the darn shaft of the soldering iron, and I didn't know it burning until I smelled it. It burned it right down to the knuckle. The knuckle was exposed, you know, and I was hoping it would get better, but it didn't. And so anyway, it's all done deal now. He left me enough to be able to get a bit of a grip, you know, with it.
Yeah.
It hurts. I'll have to say truly, where I didn't have a feeling on the end of my finger, I must have a whole lot of feeling, you know, past that. And but it's getting better. Each day seems to be better.
And is it your flying handle? Is it your flying hand?
Right hand.
Bugger.
Yeah. I still got my forefinger and my little finger and enough grip to hold the handle and my thumb. So I think I'll be able to fly.
Yeah, you'll be right.
Yeah. I gotta go.
Hey, Jim, thanks for coming in, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Appreciate it.
Jim, before you go,
Good night, Jim.
Jim,
Yes.
before you go,
Cheers.
I want to talk to you this week about being on a committee.
Joy. Sure.
Okay. It relates to what you just did.
Okay. John Miller, check your email. I sent you Mark Smith's contact information.
Thank you very much, Jim. Appreciate that.
All right. Be well. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to take
Thank
off
you.
too. Great to
All
see
right. Hey,
everybody.
thank you, John, for
John.
coming in, man.
I'll
Appreciate
come back
it.
next week.
Good
Come
to
back
have you
Friday.
here, John.
Come
Bye-bye.
back Friday. We do it Monday and Friday, John.
Yeah, I'll show my airplane next time.
Yeah,
Good.
fantastic.
All right. Bye.
All right, see ya.
Good night too.
And Minnesota Mike said need to put eyeballs and a smile on Lynn's head. Lynn already bailed, but if I could do that, that would have been funny. So Jonathan, what you been up to?
Hang on, we're just being invaded. I might just hit the mic for a minute and I'll come back. Oh no, they're off. Yeah. You know, that Nobler I was working on, I looked at it and thought it was a bit plain. So I'll put a bit of detail in it. I'll show you.
All right. I just made you big.
Put
So
a bit of black line detail on it.
oh, good.
I don't know whether it'll come out all right on this.
So the detail, was that paint or that tape? What you used to?
Oh, look at that.
That looks great. Great idea,
It's
Jonathan.
black line felt tip, and
Yeah.
put an exhaust system on it. And
Nice.
what I do is I mix acrylic lacquer, clear acrylic lacquer with nail polish, and where I can't get to the like where I've got to avoid the solar film, I brush it on with a nail polish brush. But as I go, I kind of in my fingers I rotate the brush as I drag it along the line of, the plate lines and the rivets,
Right.
so that you can go about, the old measurement, about 200 mils, I suppose, about 8 inches, in one flow, and then put it back in the bottle and then do another one and rotate it, and it comes out nice and smooth. And then when it dries, it flattens down and it looks okay.
So what do you use for a straight edge so you get the line straight?
A ruler. I just use a flexible ruler, and I find the little 30-degree one is quite good for getting into tight spots. But the flexible ruler is good for getting over the, around the curves and stuff. I actually didn't have my flexible ruler this time, so I messed up kind of some of the curves a little bit. When you look close, it's a bit rough, but anyway.
Well,
It
I like what you did with it, Noble. You kind of made it into a World War II pursuit plane.
Yeah, it's a bit like an old. Well, I was sort of inspired by the Miles 20. They had to make a plywood version of something to back up the Hurricane and Spitfire if things got nasty. So they got the Miles company to produce a fighter which actually had quite startling performance for its time. It outperformed the Hurricane in speed, and I think it was pretty close behind the Spitfire when it first came out. It was all plywood.
Yeah.
And it had a similar kind of outlay or layout to that Nobler. Similar intake and so on at the front.
Oh, my goal is to do the Miles. I think it's either the 22 or 24, the twin. It never got built, but it's got elliptical wing and tail, and it had the big Griffin engines in it. No, it didn't. But it had one along in that line. It's a gorgeous little airplane.
Yeah, and of course towards the end of the war, the Miles Baker had contra-rotating props and all sorts, but the jets were coming in by then.
Yeah,
so,
Keith knows a lot about the Miles Baker.
He's got a beautiful model of that, and one of the guys over here, Kim Webley, he built one too, and it's a beautiful aircraft, or was beautiful aircraft.
I didn't like that word "was."
Yeah.
When it comes to aircraft, that's not a nice word, huh?
No. I've got something else I'll show you in a minute when things calm down around here too. I'll hit the mute, I think, because I've got phones going and kids talking around the corner. So there's a motor I want to show you. Something you guys might be interested in having a look at.
All right.
So I'll hit the mute for now anyway.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan.
I'm going to be right back.
All right. Thank you, Bob. No problem.
So my dog doesn't run into it.
Right. Yeah.
Casey, you stay here.
I'm going to go fill my face for a minute.
Okay. Fantastic. Hey, Ed, you haven't said anything tonight. You have any questions or comments or anything?
Oh, it's just been pretty busy work-wise, but weather-wise, it's just been really bad. Planning for this weekend and stuff. Working on a plane, a P-51B. I think it's Pat Johnson kit, if I remember right, or something like that. So doing a little bit of that, and just basically trying to hopefully, I got a line on 2 young kids that want to try control line.
Oh,
And so,
great.
if all goes well, I'll be at the one guy's house, father's house this weekend, and I guess they got a big enough backyard to give it a try and stuff.
Wow.
So,
Well, that is
yeah.
service. You actually go into them in their house to
Well,
introduce them
yeah.
to control line. That is,
Yeah, his son won some free prizes at the Youth Aviation Expo that we do, and that's so just trying to see what we can do to get them going, and that get it known out there.
absolutely.
And
That's
and
wonderful.
also, I'll be how many more weeks to Brodax? Brodax just an hour and 5 minutes from my house.
Oh, you're lucky you, man. And Brodax is a couple of days from my house.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
3
Mark,
days.
And Mark is coming back out to help out, which we're really grateful for and stuff. Working on trying to get some better TV and news coverage and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, we need to get more of that. We really do.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
Yes, sir. What do you want to buy?
No, don't go there. Ed sent me a note earlier telling me that he had oceanfront property in Arizona. And I said, "Do you have a circle?" And he said, "Whatever you want, I'll get."
Sign here.
Sign here. But listen, I did look at my calendar for the year, which is similar to last year, but I got 40 days on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of days.
Yeah.
But it's good stuff. And I think next year when you run Pampa, things will be in good shape.
Oh my golly.
Very great.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I do whatever I can to help you out, guys.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and also I've got the reservations for the Nats.
All right.
Yeah, be there also.
Good deal. Awesome. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's great, watching you guys and listening. I can't quite contribute as much in regards to the skills of flying control line. So, but I'll get there one of these days.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm still trying to get there myself.
Yeah.
It's at a different level. I'm still trying to get there.
Yeah. This Thursday, I get to go visit a high school with 1,200 kids.
Wow.
And stuff. Mark, I've teamed up with Pierpont Foundation, which is part of Fairmont State University, and they're a 501c3.
Okay.
And they consider what I'm doing an outreach program for the youth. And so now some of the companies that were hesitant in donating because we weren't a 501c3 can now do it through Pierpont, and then they earmark where the money goes for.
Wow.
So, I unfortunately, I just got it about a week ago, so I'm not sure how much it'll affect me this year and that, but anybody can contribute year long now and earmark what they want the funds used for and stuff.
That's great. Well, Ed, my Honda has 191,000 miles on it. So if you could help.
It's broke in.
I don't know if I could make it to West Virginia in August.
Most of them coming to
I'll send a driver in a car and that. Yeah, we can take care of that.
Most of those miles were logged coming to my house, Mark.
Excuse me?
Most of those miles were logged coming to my house.
Coming to your house is a joy. It always is. Well, wherever I go, I enjoy it. So I can't.
You put a lot of miles on going back and forth.
I do, but that's okay. That's okay.
You get free hamburgers.
Oh, I get everything at your place.
I got another show and tell item.
Oh, please.
Oh, please. This is a little test bed twin. And this is how it's going to fly, just like this. It's ready to fly, except for putting the motors in and everything. And this is done with that, well, that's sheeting method I use. We're putting the 2/10 carbon mat onto a foam core using thin tight bond glue. And it's got cap bars on both sides with shear webs connecting them so the wing doesn't rack, can't move. And this is extremely rigid wing. And it's extremely light and extremely quick to build.
Wow, that's nice.
That is pretty.
Wow. Amazing.
That's nice, Bob.
Is that
So-
fuselage molded?
This part here is carved flotation foam, and then I sanded it and put 2 coats of epoxy on it, sanded it. Then I covered it with half-ounce glass cloth, 2 more coats of epoxy, sanded and painted it. And that's a viable option replacement for using a big block of good wood.
Yeah.
Yes.
It works really, really well. You know, it's got the profile in the cells. It's going to be for 2 parked 480s, and which will be plenty because Paul Walker has 4 parked 480s in his B-17 now, and he says it pulls it better than the 415s did.
Wow.
So you know, so this is it's got a kind of a cool nose look to it.
That does. That does.
No, there might be plans for this one available, and even a semi kit available eventually.
That's
This one's
pretty-
Robbie. I traded Robbie something for this one. I was building it for myself, but this one actually belongs to Robbie now. But this is a really good method of making a test bed. These are also foam flaps covered with just 2 coats of 2/10 carbon, and they are stiffer than the balsa flaps would be. They're incredibly
Wow.
very accurate.
And they
Wow,
probably
that's-
won't warp.
They won't work, no. And it's got a coat of epoxy finishing resin brushed on and wiped off, so you can take it out in the rain, and the rain won't soften up the tight bond, you know.
Now, do you make your control surfaces removable or not?
These are not removable, no. Anyway, just so you want to see that.
Very nice.
Lots of twins
Very
around.
nice.
Robin, what would you expect the finished weight of something like that to be, Robin? When you finish?
With the motors and batteries, this will probably be in the 45-ounce range. It's about
45 ounce.
560 squares, and you know, again, it's going to have these will be 2, probably 8 or at the most 9-inch props. There'll be 18 inches of disc span covering the wing, and it'll have plenty of artificial air blast to increase the lift. So it'll fly lighter than that because it's got a lot more artificial lift. It's one of the big advantages of a twin.
Hey, Philip Bailey's here. Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey, Phil.
Doing well.
Howdy, sir.
Hello there. How was the show over the weekend?
Oh, well, it was, the Fun Fly?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a great experience. You haven't seen people in some time, and it's great to see them. And it was strange, just to fly and just kind of have fun, like a fun fly is. I've never been to a fun fly before. It was kind of a strange idea. I didn't even fly because my the plane I started to fly recently, it's brand new and it was coming in on rollout. And so I was really hesitant. And I really hadn't done much. I only had like 3 flights on it. And I took it up there. So it was just sitting on the flight line looking good, but I didn't take it out and fly it. But I flew it today, and with the suggestions of Lou Walgass and Jim Hoffman, the plane's flying pretty good. I'm looking forward to doing more of the suggestions that Lou Walgass and Jim had for me, and the plane's coming along. It's a Talon, by the way, if anyone's
Oh yeah, I remember seeing pictures. That's a nice airplane.
Yeah, and I haven't weighed it yet, but it feels extremely light. has a Brodak 40 on it, and with a Zinger 11.5 prop, and so far so good.
And when you say Talon, do you mean Jim Kostecki's Talon?
Yeah.
I won plans to that at VSC, and I have not built it yet. But one of these days, that's still on the list to be built.
Hoffman had one years ago.
Yes, he mentioned that. Yeah, you know, at the flying at the handle and seeing the plane is just, I've never flown a jet looking plane before. It seems so weird to have the canopy so far up front and then a high vertical stab, you know, with the point on it. It's a neat looking plane.
Yeah.
Oh,
You do realize you're talking to Bob Hunt, who flew the Genesis, right? It didn't have a rudder, but it does have a point back there.
Oh, I had the Crossfire, which was a Genesis with that big fin on it. And
well, that's true. I'm building one of those, and I didn't think about that. So yeah.
You know, Jim Kostecki was a huge influence on me. A huge influence on me.
Wow.
When I went to the '69 Nationals with Billy Simons, my airplane I was supposed to take there, the finish screwed up about 3 weeks before the Nationals, and as luck would have it, the airplane flew great, but it looked awful, and pride kept me from taking it there. But I went down with Billy Simons, who flew his shoestring, and just a brief aside, we stayed that week with my big brother Red Reinhardt at his house. He lived down there, so we stayed with Red. But that was the Nationals where we first saw the real new wave stunners, the Kostecki and Gerke and Jerry Worth and Billy Werwich, Don Bambrick and Leroy Gunther, all had these spaceship-looking airplanes, and they were very impressive. And one of them was the America, which was very similar in nature to the Talon.
Right.
And I went up to talk to Jim. You go up to approach one of these hero types, and you figure, he's not going to give you the time of day. Well, he treated me like he'd known me for 20 years, and we became like best friends. And I actually spoke at his wake, his memorial service.
Well, the nut didn't fall too far from the tree, Bobby. You treat everybody like that.
Oh, he was great. He was the funniest guy in the world, and we got to be really close friends. I published a lot of his free flight airplanes and flying models. He was also a very accomplished free flight modeler. Free flight scale and Bostonian and that kind of thing,
Yeah.
Great guy.
What is this airplane behind you? I tuned in too late.
Oh, that's a little test bed twin. You missed the other one. I have my other twin up here. This is the test bed twin I built for a smaller setup, 2 Park 480Ls. And what I call the lost sheeting wing. It's a core covered with the 2/10 carbon mat applied with thin pipe bond, and it makes a very rigid, very quick, light, cheap wing.
That's neat, Bobby.
Yeah, this is how it's going to fly, just like this. This is ready to fly. It's got 2 coats of epoxy on everything else, all the wood parts sanded, and it's going to fly just like this. Well, of course, with landing gear, motors.
That's cool.
Yeah,
very, very nice.
I think the sickest I ever got at Brodak, I saw an airplane that I found out later was one of Bobby's twin test beds hit and explode. It was all foam, and it looked like something exploded over there. Beads went everywhere.
Where'd you see that?
I'm thinking it was at Brodak.
Oh, that was Joel flying it. Yeah, he had it there. Yeah. He put it back together. He's still flying it.
Yeah, he said he was going to put it back together. He said, "Oh, this is nothing." I said, "Okay."
He loves it. We're building a new one for him too. He's building a brand new one. I was mentioning it before. He likes the Crossfire, but he wanted a twin Crossfire. So he said, "I want to build one that calls a double cross."
That's he stole my idea. Oh well, okay. That's what I've been drawing up and playing with. Exactly. Yeah. I have a foam. I have just a foam wing, that was cut for that, and I was going to try to do the same thing. That's neat.
About 2/3 built already, so we're going to try to get it ready for the Nationals.
Wow, I hope so. I'd like to see it. That's gonna be a neat trip, I think. We got to get Charles to get his honey out there.
Yeah, I'd love to be out there.
We need to get Charles and John and just everybody that can to come. And
I'd like to come, but 2,000, well, almost 2,500 miles ago. Heck of a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping I can get Joe Mata, maybe Carl Reed to go out to Brodax. You know,
that'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be
because
fun. If you
they've
can't
got-
make the nationals, that's the next most fun contest I've ever been to.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
the
had a
nationals.
blast.
I learned more at the nationals, but
Yeah.
I had the most fun at Brodax I've ever had. The last year Bobby was the CD out there, and I had a blast. It was my first trip, and I had a blast that year. That was more fun. Bob
Let me
had
share
this
with
little.
you. Let me share with you this picture of this Talon.
Yeah.
I didn't build it. A friend of mine, unfortunately, his diabetes has put him in the point where he uses an electric wheelchair, and so flying is not an option for him. So,
Oh, that's pretty.
That is pretty.
yeah, I think it did a really good job. It's really simple, and but it's really nice. And I like the wheel pants he did. The wheel pants kind of look jet-like looking, and it's neat looking
Have you
plane.
caught those little things, those little pitot tubes on the tail? Have you caught them on anything yet?
Say it again, Bob.
Those little pitot tubes at the end of the those little extensions.
Not yet, not yet. I'm very careful. Even when I'm cleaning the plane, I'm so glad they're not delicate. Yeah, they actually are. They're about a quarter inch or so thick.
Yeah.
And so they're not that delicate. Like the Formula S that I saw Bob Whiteley fly, that had more pointy type things.
Yeah.
But
I'm finding you have to be very careful with those, and especially with twin rudder airplanes. You got to be hyper careful.
Yeah, so he did a really good job with this, and I haven't weighed it yet, but I can tell you it's really light, and it has a brand new Brodax 40. I did the break-in according to the booklet, and then I have put about, I think today was like the 6th or 7th flight. Haven't done the full pattern yet. Still doing trim.
That's nice.
Very neat.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job. Yeah.
Very neat. Lordy.
So we're gonna be ending this stream in like 6 or 7 minutes. So we're almost at 9 o'clock.
my.
I know it's almost midnight for you guys too, and I appreciate you guys hanging out and coming in. That's I'm flattered for you guys to be out here and stay up with me. Appreciate it.
Well, somebody has to keep you honest.
Yeah.
He's actually, are you in tomorrow, John? Corotas? Are you in tomorrow? There you go.
Me?
What
Is
day
it Tuesday out there yet?
Sorry, I had the mic turned off. God.
Oh,
kids
look
here.
at that. Yeah, that America is so pretty. I remember the first time you showed a picture of it, I thought that is a pretty airplane.
That's when I first met Jim. Now, if you notice what he's doing there, if anybody notices what that's the international signal for.
No,
With
I
his-
don't know what that's
with his right
for.
hand.
Okay.
That's a signal for something. He was a real card, and that's that's supposed to be part of your anatomy. Let's put it that way.
Oh my goodness.
That's
He got
East Coast.
screwed.
Yeah. So,
Huh, interesting.
That's a shame.
Down here, it means you need a beer.
No.
yeah, he was great. That was the '69 National at the Willow Grove.
That is a beautiful plane.
Yeah, it was.
It
And he
is.
took third place at that. Lampione was first. Raby was second. He was third. I think Billy was fourth, if I'm not mistaken.
And that looks so much like the Talon. It's amazing.
Well, they're all very similar. I got another picture over here that.
So the Formula S, the Talon, and the America are basically the same plane.
Oh, look at that.
Very similar.
That's
Oh.
sharp.
Hold on a second. What did I do?
Wait a minute. Let me get a
That
picture
is
of that.
so pretty.
Is it still showing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you. That thing looks nice.
That is pretty.
I'm having a hard time getting back to where I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, I know that.
I didn't even know about that one. I don't have plans for that one. That's pretty.
Ask America.
I like that.
Yeah, that is pretty.
And that thing on the wing, that on the right wing, that thing, he was an art teacher, and he was Ukrainian, and that little decal there, he had a lot of his airplanes. He called it the ultimate Ukrainian.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, neat guy.
I can't make out what it is. Or what is it?
It's just a little caricature, you know.
Okay.
Here's a picture you'll like. This was in '68, where he took second place at the Nationals in.
I remember that.
Glenview. See if I can get it to go larger. I don't think I can get to the. Can't get the thing to move. All right. Well, anyway. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Mine was stubborn tonight too.
That is neat. That is
And there's
neat.
that little decal on the wing again.
Yeah, yeah. That reminds me of Bob Whiteley's Formula S.
Yeah.
I remember.
Bob copied this to a great degree. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jim took second at that Nationals. Gieske won it.
Now back then, you would get how many points for appearance? Back
40.
then? 40. That's why the cockpits are so detailed.
Yeah, well, he was an art teacher, so I think he just did it because obviously to get points, but all his airplanes were gorgeous. They were just gorgeous. He had another airplane back in '65 Nationals when I think he was a senior, called the Cutlass. Anybody heard of the Cutlass?
Yeah, remember that.
Here's the Cutlass.
Oh wow, interesting.
Looks a lot like a
yeah.
Oh, phooey, I can't remember the name of it.
It reminds me of a dolphin.
Dolphin.
Yeah, dolphin. That's what I was trying to think of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except the Cutlass, doesn't show it. It shows it, but not real well. The nose is larger than, it's wider at the top, and then it dips.
Yeah, it's got like little cheeks on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, he's
but
quite
again, he's got a neat looking under the canopy. He did dial that up again.
He was the best, man. Great guy.
I have a comment from old control line pilot. That's Bob Whitley. He says, like given. He's also a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you for that. He says, nice to see some new faces. Yeah, we had some new faces in here earlier. And Jonathan, I haven't forgotten you want to share something else too, was it? You wanted to share something else?
Oh yeah, and I think John was asking me something a few moments ago. I didn't quite catch it. I had the mic turned off. And
is it Tuesday there? Is it Tuesday there?
It's Tuesday here. It's coming up to, I haven't got my glasses on. 4 o'clock. Coming up to 4 o'clock.
All right.
Okay.
Wow.
In the afternoon. Afternoon.
It's almost midnight here. One more minute.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
So is it almost time for you to have supper or dinner? What they call it down there in New Zealand?
Yeah, we just call it tea or dinner. It's quite funny when we get English people down here. We say, "Oh, come round for tea." So they come round at 3 o'clock, expecting Devonshire tea with scones and cream and what have you. And we go, "No. What we mean is come back about 6:30, and bring a bottle of wine,
John, I was a little bit in England and volunteered at the fighter collection at Duxford.
All right.
So everybody says, "Hey, Ed, tea time." So I go over with the guys. They make me some tea, and they all drank coffee. Like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, well, here we call it smoko. Well, so do the Aussies. We call it smoko when you knock off for a cup of tea, 3 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Yeah. Anyway, this engine I've got here, I'll just keep my finger on the mic if I have to mute it. It's a bit like a circus around here today.
We can't tell.
Two little kids. One of them flies. And I'm going to try and figure out a way of showing you a clip. I've got a clip on on my computer here of him flying a little electric thing. But
Okay. Yeah,
I'll
bring
figure
it up
that out
on your
to-
computer first, and then go down to the bottom, hit the share button, and then you reselect it, and then that'll share it. It'll show us.
Okay. All right. Well, I might try that next week. But here's the motor that I've got. A mate of mine just came round. We had lunch together. Can you work out what it is?
What it was?
Like an FP. Wait a minute. Yeah, it looks like an FP. But
No.
it's
It's
not, because it,
OS Max FP,
yeah,
and
FP.
it was radio, but it worked.
Yeah,
He turned this out of plastic, but he couldn't. For some reason, he was explaining to me he couldn't turn down the diameter of the
Venturi.
throat here, the collar. So he just left it like that, but it gave him plenty of meat because he used the original radio. Don't know whether you can see
Needle
down
valve.
the
I like
Yeah.
doing that, John, because it gives you the where the venturi end is there, right in the middle, for the
Yeah.
spigot. It gives you the spigot, and I think that works better.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I do with some of these ones on mine that are radio, I like, I'm not sort of into competition so much, but I've got some that are radio, and I couldn't be bothered mucking around with them. So I just wire them full open
Right.
for mine, and I actually rotate the whole carburetor around so that if you plant the thing, the needle valve's pointing backwards like this, and you can
Right.
often get away with just going over and digging it out of the ground, and with a bit of luck, you haven't broken your needle valve.
Yes. Good point. Yeah. That's so
That's neat.
brings back memories having to dig out a plane after I darted it. Yeah.
Winter time's a good time to practice stunt.
Yeah.
I find.
Yeah. Winter time's a good time to do a long. No, it's too hard.
Ground gets harder then than it does during the summer.
Oh, okay.
But this is quite a high performance engine, I believe, isn't it? These ones.
It's not bad.
High
It's
revving.
one of the better sport motors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that have ball bearings in the front?
No,
No,
plain
just
bearing.
plain bearings.
FPs
It's a
are plain
40.
bearing.
This one's a 40. and
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I picked the 25 up. A 35 up the other day with radio on it. Brand new, hadn't even been used, and I got an STP 21 Chinese motor that had been used in half a dozen flights, and I got them both for about $55. So it was quite funny that this thing, my
You
mate
did
would
well.
bring this one around today.
Very cool.
So
It's a good engine. You'll like it.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
I've got a couple of smaller ones, and boy, the FPs go well, I think.
Yeah, they're good motors. My friend Joe Mata has an FP40, and it starts on the first flip. Awesome running motor. Very good running motor.
That's the
And I think-
only motor I've ever been in competition with and had it start before I put the battery on it.
Oh, yeah.
The judges hollered, you're supposed to signal us. And I held up the battery and said, it
Right.
ain't on the motor.
Right.
I'll tell you.
Oh,
I'll tell
okay.
you.
No.
I'll tell you something funnier. The guy who bought this round, Bryce, my mate, he was telling me he had look, I don't know what the motor was, but it was a glow plug, glow job, about a 40. And it was fairly new, and it had been used a little bit, and he put some WD-40 in it just to loosen it up. He gave it a flick, and it dieseled and started in his hand on WD-40.
Whoa.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
He tried
That's
it
the
again.
second time I've heard of that.
Well, that's interesting because that's got to be cheaper than glow fuel.
Yeah, hey, he dieseled it. Yeah, so my reply was, well, fill the tank with bloody WD-40 and turn it into a diesel and see what happens.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
anyway,
Well,
yeah.
These things
Okay.
have a lot of surprises.
anyways,
Mhm.
Bob Hunt, did I cut you off? I just wanted Jonathan to have a chance to share what he wanted to share. Was you going to? Okay, cool. Well, that being done, I'm going to end the live stream, and I want to thank everybody. I really appreciate it. I shouldn't be surprised all the time, but this is a Monday night, and I usually expect the Fridays to be a better show, but this show is on par with any Friday night I've ever had. So thank you very much. I really, really appreciate everybody who came in. So with that, hopefully you have a chance to go out and do some flying or work in your shop and then come back and tell us all about it Friday.